And welcome everyone to another Logan Community Starcraft event brought to you by me, of course. This game is actually the first game in round 2 of the winner's bracket of the SC24Life Silver and Bronze League tournament. In the bottom right hand corner of Agria Valley, we have the red Protoss player, Lougarou. Now remember, Lougarou has recently defeated Dredge and one other opponent to get here, both excellent games where he did some sort of a 2-gate robo, 1 base attack, followed by an expansion, and both of those worked out quite well for him. In the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the pinkish-colored Protoss player, KingItchy. Now remember, KingItchy has most recently defeated Cricket in round 1 of the winner's bracket, with some excellent aggression on Cloud Kingdom. So we'll be interested to see how this works out in the PvP, and also remember, on this same map, his first match of the winner's bracket was against, I believe it was Shader. And Shader, it was another PvP that ended in a kind of ridiculous base trade situation. So be interested to see how this works out. And remember, this is Agria Valley, so you have a small ramp, kind of a lot of surface area to work with, and it's just ridiculously small. So aggression usually starts very quickly. The rush timing between bases is very short. And there's a lot of area around the back to be able to do for drops and other things like that. So it looks like we have Lougarou throwing down his gas and a gate, very, very standard. In PvP, it's actually quite common to see mirrored builds, especially at the beginning. Generally, you don't see many units out until the 3-something minute mark, and it's just really dependent on what's going on. There's actually some pro PvPs that they don't even scout until 4-5 minutes in, simply because it's not that there's not that many openings, it's just everyone generally seems to do the same thing, and they feel it's better use the workers' time, getting them a little bit extra resource lead. So the Cyber Cores going down similar-ish times. It looks like KingItchy does have the advantage on that. However, Lougarou is throwing down his second gas a little bit earlier, so he will have an advantage on gas, which means he should have higher tech units. Lougarou, he did see a scout, didn't see anything but a cyber core and a gateway. Surprise, surprise. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a scuffle right here. Some probes zapping away at each other. And Lougarou grabbing all 3 probes quite well, mining immediately. Should be a Stalker coming out. Looks like he's doing the same build that he's used in the other games, with the Stalker Robo Immortal Sentry push. And we do have, a fast robotics facility and another pylon. So we have a 1-gate Robo followed by gas. So it looks like he's playing a little bit more conservative. KingItchy is playing a little bit more for the long term in most respects. Lougarou does have a worker count advantage. However, it's not that significant. However, that does indicate that he's been macroing just a little bit harder. So we do have Warp Gate coming down for both players, but because the Cyber Core for KingItchy was a lot earlier, and he has been spending Chrono Boost on it, it is significantly ahead of the research of Lougarou. So it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. Now we do have a first Stalker being very bold, first Stalker and first Sentry against a Stalker and a Zealot. Depending on how force fields work, this could go very well or very poorly for Lougarou. Warp Gate is almost done. There's still no proxy pylons. It looks like they are starting to scout and check for proxy pylons. We do have the first Observer coming out, whereas the first Immortal is coming out for KingItchy. And then back home, looks like he is throwing down another gate. So it is going to be a 2-gate Robo against a 2-gate Robo. One was slightly delayed Warp Gate. However, they've had the Robo facility for a little bit longer. However, the Immortal count was actually started by KingItchy. So it looks like he's throwing down just solid Immortals. He looks like he's been watching some of the other games. Remember, all these games are live on YouTube. The players have been able to watch each other's strategies, really starting to learn each other's builds as the tournament continues to get a little bit more serious. Now, Lougarou does have the Observer here, does see that they are Immortals. He does see now the 2 gateways. He does see Warp Gate finished. it'll be interesting to see how he goes forward. Remember, he is continuing to macro. He does have quite the worker count advantage now. And it'll just come down to the engagement. The higher immortal count for KingItchy in engagement should work out very well in his favor if Lougarou is stalker heavy as he has traditionally been in his last 2 games. With this observer here, you'd hope that that doesn't exactly happen. KingItchy does see the observer. With his own observer coming out, he does take a few pot shots at it, and it looks like he's going to take it out. Yep. So 3 stalkers, a zealot, a probe, a sentry, and 2 immortals versus a retreating army and an expansion. So Lougarou does have the advantage here if he can hold up this expansion. However, with 2 immortals do such high damage to armored units and buildings, and with the zealot count being very, very low, and both players being almost supply blocked, it'll be very difficult to see how this will work. The observer here will allow KingItchy to defend or attack to the high ground, although there is this force field. However, there's only 1 zealot here. Both players are supply blocked, both are warping in additional production. There's an forge down, but no upgrades going down as of yet. Looking at the APM, players are starting to play a little bit faster as the engagement is just about ready to happen. Remember, Lougarou does not have any information there, and KingItchy also does have no idea that this building is almost done. And now that the Nexus is done, there's no option to cancel, so Lougarou must defend this and able to stay ahead in this game. If he falls behind, this could be very bad, especially for his long-term economy. There is a cannon right here, which will actually help out quite a bit. It's got quite long range, although some of the observers, the stalkers and sentries, could force field and get up close. So the engagement happening, the immortals just doing so much damage to the stalkers. The force field preventing most of them from being in range, but enough of them, it's not... it looks like KingItchy has been driven away. The force field there, while not perfect. This engagement, this choke here, this could be very dangerous. There's enough energy here for his force field. This is getting a little bit dangerous. 2 immortals to 1 immortal. Now Lougarou is no longer supply blocked. Chasing him back out, this is very dangerous with the open field. The zealots are quite good against this composition, and it looks like KingItchy knows that. He needs to kite those zealots, and it looks like the immortal and zealot composition will be able to successfully repel Lougarou. However, now he's going to be sandwiched between the base. It looks like he's going to just try to do a base trade. He's walking right in. The sentry, or the cannon here, are going to go down immediately to these immortals. The high ground advantage now held by KingItchy in Lougarou's base. He is kiting. He just needs to warp in additional stalker. If he had zealots right here, this engagement would be completely different. However, with the high... The immortals here are just doing too much damage. The immortal's doing fine, but the stalker count went down immediately. And stalker's being warped in. Stalker versus immortal is just painful to watch. Looks like some more immortals are coming out. He's attempting to do his best there. He is kiting these zealots. He needs to take care of these zealots immediately if he's going to have any sort of chance. The pylon went down, no more power there. This immortal needs to stay alive. However, with the warp-ins here, it looks like the immortal's going to get sniped. Now the army is almost completely gone for Lougarou. The APM, we're watching it, has gone up considerably. The zealots, this is what he needs to do. He needs to keep those zealots coming in, and these 2 immortals need to come out, and he probably needs to call all of his probes off. Oh no, the immortal, walking! It's not able to move, it's on move command, it was on a rally, it gets taken out without getting any shots off. It looks like this is going to be almost impossible for Lougarou to hold off. He throws down the GG. It was a very exciting game. It was actually a mirror build, more or less. Not in execution, but in end result. And it looks like KingItchy having just a little bit better composition, knowing that Lougarou is going for a primarily zealot or stalker, sentry, immortal, and knowing that zealot and immortal is quite good against that composition. Keep in mind, Lougarou did have a superior worker count. If he had held, he would have done quite well. So in the future, remember, this is Lougarou's first loss. This is the winner's bracket, the 2nd round. So he now gets bumped down to the loser's bracket. But I envision him doing pretty well down there. But we'll see as the tournament progresses. Meanwhile, congratulations to KingItchy. He is now advanced on in the winner's bracket. He is so far undefeated for, I think, 3 games in a row. And we'll see what his next match may bring.